What are you saying, YouTube? Today I'm changing out the thermostat on my ST150. I've noticed as I've been driving my Fiesta around that the temperature's been sitting at about a quarter instead of a half. So I'm going to change it out today because I think there's a problem with it. I've got the new part here. So it's pretty simple. It's 3 bolts. Take the old one off, take the hoses off, put the new one on. But I'm going to take this opportunity to do a coolant flush as well. Flush the whole system, put some new coolant in there because we have to take the lines off anyway. So yeah, let's crack on. The first thing we need to do is jack the car up because I think we're a bit too low to get under there at the moment. Next we've got to remove this headlight, which is the driver's side headlight. It's just 1, 2, 3 screws there. This grille has to come off as well to be able to access the bolt there. Now this is where we're going to access the thermostat. I don't know if you can see it too well in there. I'll try and zoom in. But you see where these 2 pipes come from? So you got this one at the top and you got that one there. That is where the thermostat is housed. You really can't see too well, but you're going in quite blind. There is a bolt. Let me zoom in, see if I can help. I'll get the light right in there. So you might be able to see a little bit better there. There's the first bolt. That's the housing right there. Bolt there, bolt on the other side, and a bolt around the back there. And these 2 pipes here, the coolant lines, are going to have to be removed. However, before we do that, we're going to drain the whole system, drain all the coolant out of the system, fill it up, warm it up, flush it again, do that maybe 2 or 3 times. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So, what you need to do is get under the car, and on the driver's side, if you can see that? Right there, there's a hose, and it's just got a hose clamp on it. And what we need to do, we need to remove this hose clamp and pull this hose off of the radiator, if you can see too well. That hose there. So this hose needs to come off the radiator, and then all the fluid will start draining. It's the lowest point on the cooling system, sorry. So this is the best place to take it from. Once you've removed the clip, you need to pull the hose off, and you need your bucket ready because all the coolant will start flushing. So you need to get your bucket ready for the coolant to drain. There we go. Coolant is draining. Quick way to help it drain a bit easier is to unscrew the reservoir cap, and that way it introduces air to the system and pulls it through a lot quicker. There we go. So what we need to do, now the system is fully drained, is put that clamp back on, fill the system up with deionized water, then run the car for around 5 to 10 minutes, let it kind of get up to temperature, and then we're flushing it again. This is just to pull all of the old coolant out, and basically you want to do it as many times until there is clear water coming out. There's the old stuff. Not actually in too bad condition really, but still, we're pulling it all out, replacing the thermostat and getting new stuff in. Fill it up to the max. You won't really be able to see it too well, but I've filled that up to the max. Now I'm going to start the car, and you want to be careful not to let this overheat. Like I said, only 5 or 10 minutes should pull the if your thermostat's working, let the water pull through the system and pull the rest of the coolant out. It's a good idea as well to put your heaters on full heat, so number 4, full heat, and the recirculation through, so that it pulls all of the water through the heater matrix that goes inside the cabin, just so it flushes out all of the coolant. the first cycle done. Now it's rinse and repeat. Literally pull it out, empty into there until we start seeing clear water. So I'm going to do that another probably 2 times, and then we'll be on to the next step. So I've done 4 flushes. You can see the difference in the colour there. This had a little bit of coolant in it. Everything that's draining out is now clear. That just had a little bit left over from the previous flush. Yeah, so you want to get it as clear as you can. That means the majority of the coolant is out of the system. And now we're going to focus on getting the thermostat out. What I'm going to do, if you can see in there, I'm going to remove that clamp there and the other clamp, which is just here, if you can see there, and then pull the hoses off, and then it will give me better access to get to the bolts. Getting the hoses off has been a little bit harder, so I've managed to take the first bolt off. I'm going to attempt to get the bottom bolt off, but I'm going to kind of do a mixture of trying to get the bolts, and if not, trying to take the hoses off to see if I can get the bolts. In the midst of things, I kind of just took it out. I thought it was going to be really difficult because there was these 2 bolts that were inaccessible, but I managed to get my arm in like a position that really worked. These are the differences. You can see it's like a revised version. You've got a metal plate down here and these metal arms. Apparently what fails on this quite a lot is these little kind of handles snap. Now mine haven't. I'm not too sure if this is faulty or not. I hope it is. I hope that is the issue. If not, it might be some kind of sensor. But I'm going to throw this one on. Don't know if we can try and compare the 2 side by side. Does anyone notice any difference? It's the old one. It's a new one. But yeah, I managed to get it off. And yeah, I'm going to throw a new one back on. What helped was removing this when I need to pull the actual hose out. Not the hose, sorry, the thermostat out. And you can see there, just there's where the housing sits. So yeah, we're going to reinstall it. I'm going to put the pipes on afterwards. So this time round I'm going to install the new thermostat first and then put the pipe splicers on there. I think that's the easiest way to do it. There we go, the first bolt's in, if you can see too well. So it goes in, these 2 bolts go that way. So they're the bolts where they're just up and below each other, they are on the passenger side. There we go, all 3 bolts are in place. Literally it didn't take 2 minutes to get all bolts in place. Now the hoses are out of the way, it's a lot easier to get things on and off. What we're going to do now, we're going to tighten the bolts up and then put the hoses back on. So one done, I'm going to quickly go and do the rest. All of the bolts are now tightened up. I'm going to start by reattaching the smaller hose, which goes on the further side at the top first. Then I'm going to put the other larger hose on the bottom, then reattach this up and fill the system up with coolant. So yeah, quickly attach the lines and we'll catch up from there. Need to remember to put on the hose at the bottom as well, the one that we've used to drain the radiator, because I basically went from the draining step to removing the thermostat. I haven't put that on yet, just reminding you if you copied this to put that on now. Everything's back on. Now it's time to fill up the system with some new coolant. So now we filled that up to max. What we need to do, we need to start the car. Starting the car, this system is a self-bleeding system, so all the air should raise to the top. Yeah, so we need to start the car. Fill up again once this drops, because it will pump around the system and it will probably drop a little bit. And we need to obviously test that the thermostat is actually getting up to temperature now. Now is a very good time to check for leaks. So go around all the system, everything you've taken off, make sure there's no leaks, everything needs to be on there nice and tight, you don't want any leaks. So I'm going to quickly check for leaks. So I've refilled the coolant as it's dropped down, and it's at a level where it's down at max now. The car is heating up. It seems to be heating up a little bit slowly, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the car back on its wheels and take it for a little drive just to see if it gets to the actual operating temperature, and then yeah, I'll put everything else away and hopefully that will be it fixed. Boom, look at that. We are running at temperature. It just needed a little run around a block to heat up properly. I think where I was leaving it idling, it wasn't just getting up to temperature probably as quick as it would if you're driving it around. Cool. I'm going to check one more time that the level of the coolant hasn't dropped, and then I'm going to clean up, tidy up, and yeah, that's a success. Coolant has dropped ever so slightly, just a little bit. I'm just going to top it up, but yeah, it took nearly 5 litres of coolant, so including the rest that was left in there, I think we've successfully filled it up fully. There we go, the thermostat's changed, we're getting up to temperature. We should actually get some better miles per gallon because it's actually running at a temperature that it should be running at. Now, that I think is the last thing for this car, which actually means there is no issues, nothing, everything is working. So now I can start putting in the some performance mods and a few other bits that I've been waiting off doing until the car is 100% kind of mechanically sound. Yeah, not much of a guide, but you can kind of see what I did, so feel free to use that if you need to change the thermostat on yours. If yours is running a bit cold, this is probably the issue. Although that thermostat looked like it was in good condition, it wasn't working properly, and my car now heats up, which is good because it's just in time for the winter as well, so I've got heat now coming into the cabin. I'm going to tidy up the garage, I'm going to dispose of all the coolant, and yeah, I'll catch you next time, which I'm going to give you a little hint. Might give you an idea of what I'm doing to the car next week. But yeah, I'll catch you then in a bit.